All right, so you guys know what we just discussed, which is Elon did a poll, 57.5% of 17.5 million votes, by the way, say, we want you to step down as CEO. We know that this comes after a variety of erratic decisions, banning journalists, banning links and promotion to other social media platforms, just a total dumpster fire. It's possible he met with Qatari or Saudi officials to secure financing, so he's looking for the exit. He wants to save Tesla and SpaceX. All that is possible, but I want to get into some of the specifics of what happened a couple days ago. So you guys already know that Elon banned Matt Binder. He banned Intercept reporters, New York Times reporters, Washington Post reporters, Fox Business reporters, Mashable reporters. He banned all these people because they reported on the Elon Musk jet Twitter account and basically the fight that Elon Musk and the jet tracking Twitter account had. So Bari Weiss was in a weird position because she was doing what's called the Twitter files, which is basically dumping all of the private correspondence that went down at Twitter headquarters before Elon came in around the time that Trump was banned from Twitter. They're doing full transparency or some semblance of transparency for that old Twitter regime. And, you know, Bari is one of the journalists along with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, who's not a journalist, but he's acting as one here. They're releasing all that information, but of course they're doing it because, in theory, they say, look, we believe in transparency. The previous Twitter regime was not pro-free speech. We are pro-free speech, so we kind of want to expose them. Well, Elon, you might want to not be a totally inconsistent idiot because now you've put Bari Weiss and Matt Taibbi in a super difficult position because they say their whole thing is they're massively pro-free speech, but now you are cracking down on free speech colossally. And so now they're in a weird position. What do I do? Do I keep leaking the old Twitter files without saying a goddamn word about what Elon Musk is doing now? Because what he's doing now is just as bad, if not worse, in terms of how much he's cracking down on free speech. So Bari Weiss, to her credit, releases a statement about this, tweets something about this, and says the following. The old regime at Twitter governed by its own whims and biases, and it sure looks like the new regime has the same problem. I oppose it in both cases, and I think those journalists who were reporting on a story of public importance should be reinstated. So that's what Bari said. Honestly, I don't find much objectionable in this. Some people are saying, oh, you're doing a false equivalence by saying the old regime and the new regime are equally anti-free speech. I mean, I think that's a defensible position. They were anti-free speech in different ways, but they're both anti-free speech. I do think there's a decent argument to say now Musk has eclipsed how anti-free speech the previous regime was, but they did ban, at the time, a sitting president, which is like, that's hard to wrap your mind around. That is pretty anti-free speech, no matter what you think of January 6th and Trump. And obviously, I'm deeply anti-Trump, and January 6th, I think, was an attempted coup, even though it was a pathetic attempt. So, like, but you gotta admit, that's pretty anti-free speech. So, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, she's clearly criticizing now Musk's Twitter. So Elon Musk sees that and chimes in. What should the consequence of doxing someone's real-time exact location be? Assume your child is at that location, as mine was. Bari, this is a real question, not rhetorical. What is your opinion? Now, let me respond to this. But I don't think Bari has responded to any of this, by the way. And I'm going to show you one more Musk tweet because he kept going. But that's the whole debate, Elon. Is this doxing? And my position is no, it's not doxing. So there's a number of reasons why it's not doxing. Number one, flight information, even if it's a private flight, is publicly available information. You can go look at Jeff Bezos's jet. By the way, the same kid who tracks Elon Musk's jet also tracks Jeff Bezos's jet. Bill Gates' jet, you can track that as well. Now, I know Elon is like at this point, a very despised billionaire, and his numbers are plummeting in terms of popularity. But Bill Gates and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are even more unpopular, and their jets are being tracked, and they're not making a big stink about this. So it's publicly available information. Now, the right has come out recently and said, actually, it's not publicly available. He has this legal thing called a PIA, which blocks his information from being public. Allow me to say there's zero evidence of that. They claim that's what he has. There's zero evidence of that. And in fact, If people know what they're looking for, they could find is-jet information very quickly, which is evidence that indeed he doesn't have, whatever thing would protect him. But look, even if I grant you, let me just put all this aside. Even if I grant you, yes, the Elon Musk jet account is doxing Elon Musk. And yes, it is illegal because Elon has tried to protect that information. That still doesn't mean you can ban journalists who are reporting on this story. They are reporting on the feud between Elon Musk and the Elon Musk jet account, and they're saying, here are the facts of the story, and in these stories, some of these stories provided links to the Elon jet account. But first of all, the links are dead links anyway, right? Like the links aren't working because Elon banned the Elon jet account. But even if it wasn't a dead link, even if they linked to the Mastodon Elon jet account, you cannot ban journalists for reporting factual information. This is the same shit. This is the same fucking argument that's used to go after Julian Assange or, Glenn Greenwald when he released the Edward Snowden information. This idea that, the thing that they're reporting on was information that was gathered illegally. That it doesn't matter, because then the person who committed the crime would be the person who gathered the information illegally in the first place. Once you get it to a journalist and they report on it, that's called the First Amendment. That would stifle free speech, free expression, and a free press to an insane degree if we allowed the precedent to stand. You could just ban journalists for reporting on information that you don't like, even if the stuff was gathered illegally. So with Julian Assange, what happened? Chelsea Manning leaked that the U.S. government was committing war crimes against civilians. Gave that information to Julian Assange. Julian Assange put it out there with WikiLeaks. Now, the people who criticize Julian Assange say, well, that information was top secret. It was classified. You can't release that information. You can't do it. But Julian Assange's response is, this is what journalism is. Even if what Chelsea Manning did was, quote, technically illegal, even though, in the spirit of the law, it's the right thing to do. This is information the American people should know. But even if it was technically illegal, he has a right to report on truthful information. Just like all these journalists who are just reporting on the feud between Elon Musk and Elon Musk's jet. Okay? So Elon is being hyperbolic. He's not being accurate. And also, by the way, allow me to add this. My definition of doxing, which I do oppose, of course, but my definition of doxing is putting out somebody's private information against their will with nefarious intent. Nefarious intent. And there was no nefarious intent. This kid who's 20 years old, by the way, at one point was an Elon stan. Okay? He loved Elon Musk. All right. Rather than rigorously pursuing truth, you are virtue signaling to show that you are good in the eyes of media elite to keep one foot in both worlds. That's what Elon says to Bari Weiss. Hey, Elon, allow me to give you some advice. Never, ever, ever, ever use the term elite ever again. You were the richest man in the world. You're one of the richest people on the planet. Okay? You are the definition of an elite. So all this anti-establishment posturing, fucking bullshit. You're a billionaire. You have a tremendous amount of power. You exert influence over so many people's lives, your employees' lives. You control the public square. Don't give me this bullshit of, I'm going after the elites. All right, so that's the first point. Second point is, she's not virtue signaling. She's saying what you did was anti-free speech. You might consider what happened to you doxing. It wasn't. And the whole point is the people who disagree with you say, that's not doxing. Especially when you get to, is there a debate to be had about the Elon jet account? Sure. And even if I grant you, you know what, that is doxing. That shouldn't be allowed. Then you can't also ban a New York Times journalist, a Washington Post journalist, a Mashable journalist, Aaron Rupar, a Fox Business reporter. You can't do that. That's fucking insane. But he's incapable of being fair to the opposing position. He just says, I'm pro-truth, you're anti-truth, and you're just a virtue signaler who's trying to appease establishment media. That's nonsense, man. That's utter nonsense. So again, Bari Weiss hasn't said a single thing back. Now, I want to show you more though, because Elon decided to also ban Taylor Lorenz. Now, let me be clear up front. I am not a fan of Taylor Lorenz. I don't like her work at all. I've read some of her stuff, and I think it's mind-numbingly stupid. However, having said that, if you read the specifics of this story, what happened was Taylor Lorenz reached out to, tweeted at Elon, "Hi, Elon. Drew Hartwell and I sent you a couple emails about this. We've learned some information that we'd like to share and discuss with you. We're taking this very seriously and want to ensure this is pursued in the right way. Thanks." So in other words, Taylor Lorenz is working on a story about Elon Musk. Taylor's reaching out to Elon and saying, look, we want you to comment on the story. We want to do this the right way. We want to make sure that everything's above board. We're just doing journalism here. Right after she sent this, Elon bans her from Twitter. Like that. So it sure looks like he got a little scared about what was coming, whatever reporting she was working on, and then he just banned her. Now, he comes out afterwards and says, no. The reason why she was banned, it was a retroactive ban for when she did dox somebody, whatever it was, a few months ago or a year ago. Now, that's his cover story. But I think the reality is he didn't want whatever that report was getting out there. He didn't want that getting out there. Now, she has since been brought back. But this is, again, because there's been so much backlash against Elon that he's just like, he doesn't know whether he's coming or going. He's, oh, fuck, all right, let me change this, let me change that. And a lot of the reporters who were banned the other day as well were brought back, except for this reporter. Fox Business journalist left behind after Musk lifts suspensions, denies Twitter CEO was ever doxxed. So, for whatever reason, this Fox reporter is still banned even after, like, Aaron Rupar has been brought back, the New York Times reporter has been brought back, etc. Fox Business reporter Susan Lee remains banned from Twitter after Elon Musk lifted a number of account suspensions on Saturday. The suspensions of a number of journalists stem back to an account that tracked the movements of Musk's private jet. Musk suspended that account this week after previously claiming he never would, and then targeted people in the media, including the pundit Aaron Rupar, CNN's Donny O'Sullivan. Musk claimed posting someone's real-time location violates Twitter policy and puts lives at risks. By the way, you know who posted their real-time location the other day? Musk, when he was at the World Cup. He posted his exact location in real time. And by the way, the argument that, like, oh, tracking my jet led to an attack against my son. Number one, there was no police report about that incident. Number two, the incident that occurred was nowhere near the airport. So it had nothing to do with tracking the jet account. And again, the very next day, Elon posts, in his language here, his assassination coordinates for everybody to see on Twitter. You had Elon's allies tweeting his exact location in real time during the World Cup game. So all this stuff is so absurd. It's all so absurd. I found myself with the same suspension, permanently banned. It hasn't been lifted as of yet this morning. Could there have been anything else that could have motivated this? Neil Cavuto asked her. You mean my personality? Lee jokingly asked. Cavuto noted Lee has been critical of Musk's takeover of Twitter. Lee actually referred to Musk in the interview as brilliant, saying there's no doubt that Elon Musk is one of the most brilliant entrepreneurs on the planet, maybe in the past generation, and he's bent the arc of history twice, whether it's with Tesla or SpaceX. She did note, however, Musk has had his fair share of strikes, and Twitter might be one of them, noting investors in his other companies are likely hoping Musk can assign a new CEO and walk away from Twitter soon. So here you have a situation where you have a reporter who's even sympathetic to Musk, just doing straight news reporting on the Elon Musk jet story, and she gets banned. Why? For sharing a link to the Elon Musk jet account, and again, the link is dead. But just the sharing of it, just the talking about it, got her banned, and she's still banned. Now, my guess is this was some sort of an oversight because all the other journalists had been brought back. Somebody just needs to realize that she's still banned and bring her back. But, I mean, this whole episode has been insanity. None of these journalists should have been banned. If your standard is whatever is legal is allowed on Twitter, then you shouldn't even ban the Elon Musk jet account. But even if I'm being as kind to Elon as humanly possible, then the only person he could have gone after was the Elon jet account. And don't touch the journalist at all for just doing straight factual news reporting. So, I mean, look, super embarrassing. The whole thing with Bari Weiss, the whole thing with all the journalists who were banned, a bunch of them being brought back, but, apparently he missed one of them. He should be looking for the exit at Twitter. And that poll, 57.5% say, hey man, be gone. And maybe he'll stick by that. I guess we'll find out. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.